I'm Liam Billingham.
I'm George Vagopoulos.
Whoa, and this is Uber
I just had to get that in
Busters.
quickly.
It's a mini episode. This is a mini episode.
And this is also one of the last times you'll hear my voice, my sultry voice on this episode.
George, I will remember you.
I laughed through that.
So as we talked about in our draft episode, Philip Seymour Hoffman appeared in 55-ish films.
Mhm.
We're only covering 14 of those, but we wanted to do some highlights, and we wanted
Correct.
to let you hear from something besides two white dudes.
Yeah.
So not to say that they're not going to be white dudes on this, because it is a podcasting after
Right.
all. But
Philip Seymour Hoffman, by the way, spoiler alert, is a white dude.
wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know if
That
you knew.
son of a
Yeah.
bitch lied to me.
So you're doing
My friend Kat Rodriguez, who's a filmmaker herself and an editor and just a cool person around town, decided that she wanted to watch Twister. So we
Because it's amazing?
haven't actually we're recording this the night before.
R.I.P.
Kat-
Bill Paxton.
Yeah. Way to bring.
Oh, sorry, I had to bring the mood down.
We're actually recording this the night before
This is why I'm not on
Kat
the
and
podcast.
I record our little bit on Twister. So we're gonna hope it's good.
Can
I'm
you
sure it'll be
please
good.
say the director's name because it
Jan
sounds
de
like
Bont.
it sounds like music 20 years. Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont. Also directed
Jan
Speed.
de Bont. He did, yeah.
Mhm.
An amazing action.
And he directed The
director.
Haunting. The Haunting. The Haunting?
The Haunting. The Haunting starring Chris Evans and
It's actually Liam Neeson and Catherine.
who's the hot?
Chris
no,
Hemsworth?
I said the hot-ening. Yeah, Chris
Hot-
Hemsworth, yeah.
Chris Hemsworth. So
and Chris
hot.
Pine, the Chris's.
Chris.
You know my theory about them, right?
What?
That like one of them is the original and the other two are clones.
That doesn't make any sense because they don't look anything alike.
Yeah, but
Try
they're
to
all-
keep
they're
up.
all-
God
they're-
damn it.
They're all blonde and they're all hot. And they're all named Chris.
Chris. So this is really wasting time. So, yeah, we haven't actually recorded this. We're recording it tomorrow, but this is the intro to it. So we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, Twister.
Stop it. Stop. Okay, bye.
Jan de Bont.
Did you have for breakfast? You didn't have breakfast.
I
Talk
didn't
about
have
this.
breakfast, but I am going to have.
Yeah, what are you going to have?
I brought my textiles to get recycled at the farmer's market, and
Oh, you're so good.
I know, right?
You
I'm
thought to bring
trying.
that to work. I do it on the weekends, but half the time I forget.
Yeah, so I picked up a yogurt from one of the farmers.
So
that
you
I
already
have.
dropped your stuff off?
Yeah.
Which one did you go to?
There's one in Court Square or whatever on Thursday mornings.
You
not
mean in
Court
Brooklyn
Square.
Heights?
No. Yes, near Montague Street.
Yeah. I
Like the
used to go
Court
to that
Street.
one when I didn't have like a regular job.
Yeah, well, I just came early, dropped that off, got yogurt
So good. Where'd you get the? Oh, from one of the.
from one of the farmers. And I'm gonna have that with nuts.
I'm gonna drink a little bit. I'm gonna drink a little bit of my Saratoga.
It's great. I
Sparkling
love
water.
The heft of it is amazing.
Don't you feel like this will last for like weeks?
And it doesn't.
Oh no, it's gone.
Yeah.
Already. I started drinking it this morning. Shall we talk about Twister?
Yeah.
All right. So
Is this sponsored by
before
Saratoga?
we do that,
Should be.
will you just do a quick introduction
Oh yeah.
in
hi.
whatever terms you want to? Hi, Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat.
Okay.
And I work with Liam.
We work together.
We work together.
And you're also you make your own things and you do your own stuff and you play the
try.
bass.
I do play the bass.
How's
I
that
just started
going?
playing the bass. It's going. I need to practice more often.
Do you strive to be in your bass playing? Like I was talking to someone the other day about it must be really great to be Adam Clayton, the bass player from U2, because he makes an absurd amount of money and no one knows who he is.
Yeah,
He's just like, oh, Bono Edge, do your thing.
yeah, that's my ideal scenario. Like, I don't want the spotlight on me, but I do want to have fun.
But you want to be that steady backbone.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
want to
dream.
be important, but not famous.
Important but not famous.
Yeah.
You know who's important and famous?
Mm.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Damn. Yeah, he
Did
is.
you see
I love
that transition?
that
Did you
segue.
like that?
That was great.
So you volunteered to talk about Twister.
Oh yeah.
Are you a Twister fan?
I don't know why, but
Mm.
I was obsessed with this movie when it came out.
Really?
I think it came out in 96, 97?
96, that's correct. I looked it
96.
up earlier today. So for context, you watched the whole movie.
I did.
I watched the trailer, and I Googled best of Dusty scenes.
Oh,
Dusty
good,
being
good,
Philip
good,
Seymour
good.
Hoffman's
Yes.
character from Twister.
I honestly think that he has more screen time than some of the films that you are reviewing for your podcast.
He probably has equal screen time in this as he does for Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. I haven't seen. I can't believe we're doing Red Dragon, but
I didn't know he was in that.
he's Freddie Lounds. He's the reporter.
Oh, yes.
It's an interesting choice that I was forced upon me by my
Yeah.
great co-host who isn't here, who I can bad.
Have you done The Master yet?
We're doing that. That's like one of the last ones.
Okay.
That's like top. It's like the last three. We
Gotcha.
recorded our happiness episode last night.
Woof.
Woof. But woof is correct. That movie. But we also talked about the scene in Boogie Nights where he kisses Mark Wahlberg. Remember when he shows him the car and he's like,
that's
"Oh,
right.
idiot! Oh, idiot!" We talked about that
Oh.
scene because
That's important.
and it felt like it has a lot in common with his performance in Happiness in some ways, and that
Okay,
like he
yeah.
plays all these repressed
Mm-hmm.
dudes.
Yeah.
But who he's so it was interesting to like talk about that
Yeah.
scene and go like, okay, like this is kind of similar to what he did in Happiness, though very, very different characters. Twister's totally different.
Yeah, he
though.
is not repressed in Twister.
So
He is
he's
doing
not
great.
repressed.
He
He's
is
doing good. He's
doing fine.
He's a happy dude. Do you want to? Can you give a very, very brief? It's Twister, so we don't have to break it down.
Okay,
But what's
okay.
Twister about?
So Twister, the whole plot of Twister is that Bill Paxton,
Rip.
rip.
Oh, that's so sad.
So many people are dead. It's not
yeah,
fair.
more people than are alive.
Yikes. Anyway, Bill Paxton. Whole plot of Twister is that Bill Paxton needs to get his divorce papers signed.
Right.
That's the whole plot of the movie.
Right. That's true. It is.
And spoiler alert,
Who wrote this movie?
he fails.
Because they end up together.
Because he ended, and
Because
I
he-
think that really messed me up. I was 5 years old when this movie came out, and I saw it in theaters.
Good
I think
God, you
I
saw it
know.
at 5? You had cool parents.
I honestly I think I remember my parents being like, "Will this freak her out?"
Yeah, sure. It's a scary
And
movie.
it's a scary movie,
Yeah.
but it didn't. I was totally into it. But I
Great.
think it did mess me up mentally because I thought that because of this movie, my parents also had a chance at getting back together once they got divorced.
Oh
but
my God. So they were divorced when this movie came out?
no, but it was happening.
Oh my God. So you saw it with them?
yeah.
That's so intense. Do you think that's why you were obsessed with it? This is becoming wow.
Thank you for being my free therapist.
No problem.
I usually pay my therapist $50, but the Saratoga spring water is enough.
You just give them water and ask them questions about their divorced parents.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I also really like, and I think the majority of humans really like that one scene with when the cow is flying. Via
That's probably
Twister.
the most iconic
It really is.
image.
I think that's what got people in
You
to
think
the
so?
theater is just seeing that cow.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's like on the cover of the movie.
Yeah, it totally is.
So he fails to get his divorce papers signed because his wife is like the world's most famous tornado chaser. And this
Yeah.
movie is about tornado chasers
Yes.
chasing like the big kahuna of tornadoes, right?
Yes, Category 5 or whatever. I don't know.
So who?
It's not called a category. 5,
And they're like, they're, if I remember correctly, Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Oh, you took notes. You're so good.
did.
But their
I took
love is
notes.
rekindled by chasing
Yes.
tornado. They get hot for each other because they're chasing tornadoes.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at my notes right now, and they make absolutely no sense.
Sure. Welcome
One
to
of
taking
them-
notes during a movie. It's the worst.
I was also cooking. I was cooking, taking notes, and watching
What were you
Twister.
cooking?
What was I cooking? I think I was either cooking black bean and quinoa burgers
Ooh.
or something else.
Did
I
you
don't know.
bring any to set today?
I
set.
should
Did you
have.
set? To
Look at
set.
the set. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Ooh.
no, did not. I think I ate it all already. I have to say one of my notes just says Bill Paxton hot question mark.
Oh, let's get into that.
This is kind of a good movie for him.
He's a handsome dude.
He was a handsome dude, and I liked him. I always liked him.
Yeah, he's great. It's really sad that he died, and like one of those like totally avoidable tragedies if
Tragic.
the world weren't, if the medical system weren't terrible. So let's talk a little bit. Who does Philip Seymour Hoffman play in this movie?
All right, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think I also took a note that says he is the human form of a golden retriever. His name is Dusty, and he's very lovable.
This is delightful.
And he's perfect in every way. And he's kind of like that friend you just want to hang out with all the time.
Got
'cause he's
good
super
energy.
chill. Good energy, exactly. Like, I
Mhm.
think the first scene is Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton are meeting for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And Dusty is in charge of, because Bill Paxton brings his new
His
girlfriend.
uptight wife, Melissa.
Right, exactly. And so Bill Paxton's like, Dusty, show Melissa around. So he's
Right.
in charge of, you know,
Taking care of Melissa.
taking care of Melissa and bringing those good vibes in. It's like,
good
everything's gonna
vibes.
be okay.
Yeah, and he's so disarmed. He's kind of charming, which is
Mhm.
an interesting thing to say after we've watched Big Lebowski and a bit of Boogie Nights
Hmm.
and Happiness. Not charming in any of those movies.
Yeah.
But he's so charming in
So
in the bits
charming.
of this
Honestly,
movie.
I think he kind of plays that like stoner friend we all have,
Mm.
which is like,
It's good.
yeah, the person you go to when you want to feel good and you don't want to worry about impending doom.
And he's probably like 28 when this movie was
He's
made.
super
He's
young,
definitely
yeah.
under 30.
I think, this is the first time I ever saw Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, that would make some sense because I believe Boogie Nights was the same year.
Okay.
Let's confirm that real
Yeah.
quick. Boogie Nights was made in the year of our Paul Thomas Anderson in 1997.
Wow.
So Twister is a year before. Yeah, and he's kind of charming and goofy.
Yeah, and it shows his range. Like, seeing this,
Yeah.
I didn't know that he replaced Jack Black in
That's the rumor.
The rumor,
I
right,
I
right,
wonder
right.
if that's true.
but seeing him in this, I'm like, okay, I could see how that could work.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about like if I mean, he definitely did comedic relief. But, like I
Mhm.
feel like Charlie Wilson's War is kind of a somewhat comedic part. But like, especially in the second half of his career, he did these like humorless
Yeah.
roles, like in A Most Wanted Man, and I haven't seen Hunger Games.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. He's so scary in
He's
Mission
so
Impossible.
scary.
He's so good in it.
Yeah.
But like, there's not a lot of comedy
Yeah.
in the latter half. But he
Right.
was kind of the lovable sidekick for a few minutes here.
Yeah. And he was great. He was my favorite part of that movie, I think.
Which
and the
movie?
cow.
Oh, Twister. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Do you remember him making an impression on you when you saw the movie?
Yeah. Because most of the scenes he's in, he's like singing.
Yeah, he's like loves music.
He's the DJ of the movie. I think whatever like songs we're hearing when they're chasing the storms is because it's what he puts
That's
on in the
really
van.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's great.
I also feel like, to talk about this movie broadly, I feel like, you know, with the Marvel vacation of blockbuster movies, the best thing about the Marvel movies are when they're all just together making like witty, quippy comments.
Mhm.
And it reminds you that like there was a time when action movies weren't sequels and they weren't big, huge, all constant spectacles. This movie is kind of about people hanging out for like
Yeah.
large portions of it.
It is.
And then running away from tornadoes.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway is that Helen Hunt had such a cool posse behind her. Like
Great
there was
posse.
the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day
Paul Rudd, not Paul Rudd.
Whoa.
But yeah, that guy.
Paul Rudd replaced
Paul Rudd.
him.
Oh my God.
No.
Well, yeah. What's Alan Rudd? His name is
definitely
Alan Rudd.
Had a crush on him when I was little.
Alan Rudd.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Interesting.
That's weird. I think it's because in Ferris Bueller, I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, it's a
but
great
in
movie.
that movie
It's one of the best.
particularly, like his character, I thought was so interesting because it's the first time I saw like a guy be emotional
And
break
depressed.
down and depressed on screen, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And I was a kid, and it was like a fun movie. Other than
It
that,
is a really fun movie.
but that like one scene where he like destroys the car, is like, wow.
At the risk of being one of those people who's like, they don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah.
But like, you can have a comedy that features a guy singing like on a parade that also has like scenes of like teen depression in it. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like those like kind of extremes don't exist anymore
Yeah.
in movies. But yeah, Alan Rudd, great
Not Paul
talented
Rudd.
Welcome to the Alan Rudd podcast.
On the next season.
On the next season. Oh, that would be so cool.
I don't know how many movies he's in.
He's in a few
Okay.
movies, but I don't know if he's in that many movies. Maybe it'd be a short season.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, so Philip Seymour Hoffman being your favorite part of the movie, did you like continue to watch movies that he was in?
So that movie happened. I'm like, wow, he's so great.
Right.
And I'm a 5-year-old. Five.
Right. Of course,
cat.
yeah. You're not like, ooh, let me check out his filmography.
I saw Boogie Nights not too long ago, a couple of years ago.
How's it hold up?
I liked it.
It's a good movie.
I
think.
really
I haven't
liked
seen it
it.
in a long time. But
I wasn't expecting it at all. Like
Mm.
I heard it was a cult classic. I'm like, let me take a look. I really enjoyed it.
I like it too.
But I didn't actively seek out Philip Seymour Hoffman. He just appeared back in my life. and,
Okay, cool.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, it was through Mission Impossible because my dad and I have a tradition of seeing Mission Impossible movies together. I'm like, wow, he's so cool and
He's
scary.
So
and terrifying.
scary. Very quickly, rank the Mission Impossible movies.
Oh no.
It's easy, but go ahead and do it.
The first Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay.
I like the Rogue Nation era.
Those are so good.
I think those come next.
Rogue
I
Nation, Fallout.
forget- Yeah,
Mhm.
Fallout. Those ones. I'm not sure the order of that. The second one is the worst.
It goes Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the actual chronological order.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page with you. I think it goes. I think Fallout's amazing and perfect and
Yeah.
great, but a lot of people think it's like a disaster. But I would say it goes Fallout 1, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation 3, 2. I don't like 3 except for Philip Seymour Hoffman. I don't think.
I only liked 3 because it was the first Mission Impossible that revealed to me that these spies have like lives outside.
That's a good
of-
point.
Like
They never really. Well, they kind of did that again because she comes back in Fallout.
the girl that dies in the beginning.
Yeah, Carrie
um,
Russell.
That kind of influences Ethan Hunt to go back out there. Was interesting to me because it's like, wow, they like each other and they would fight for each
Yeah.
other, even though this is like such a heartless
Bloodless,
job. Usually,
yeah. That's a really good point because it does. Then the movies become more personal after that,
Mhm.
and his
Yeah,
relationship with his
exactly.
wife is like a thing.
That was the turning point in the franchise, I would say.
And interesting to think. I mean, this isn't the Mission Impossible 3 episode, but Philip Seymour Hoffman's like terror of a human being in that is so palpable that you like from the very
Yeah.
beginning of that movie you like feel shit.
Yeah.
So he came back to your life, Mission Impossible 3. Are there any other performances of his that you love
Jeez, I need to go through.
or
the
like
notes.
or don't like? What are your thoughts?
I love Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I wish that we had more years with him.
Do you
'cause I think
remember?
he's so talented.
Do you remember where you were when you found out he died, or do you remember
Oh man,
how it affected
what
you?
year was that?
2014.
I don't remember where I was, but I remember not believing it. Like I thought
Yeah.
it was one of those hoaxes, like you know how like
Mm-hmm.
people falsely say people are dead.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of those.
Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah.
Well.
Well,
yikes.
to bring it back up though,
Yay.
I was looking at facts about Twister,
Oh, yeah.
and
Give me them.
apparently, in the theatrical release,
Yeah.
was later edited in the VHS and the DVD versions. In the theatrical release, when Dusty sits down on a lawn chair, you could see Philip Seymour Hoffman's genitals.
Wait. In the theatrical version of
Twister.
you can see Philip Seymour Hoffman's genitals?
Yeah, his junk flashes for a
It's
hot
not like
second.
the
It's not
outline
like
of his junk.
No,
his
it's like
junk,
he's wearing shorts or something and it peeks out.
and then that got released.
So I got released.
Man, these days we complain about coffee cups in movies, but 20
According-
years ago it was a dude's dick.
According to Top 10 Facts About Twister that you
.com,
didn't know.
which is Kat Rodriguez's website. You can find Kat's work at Top 10 Facts About Twister that you didn't know.com.
Also, 2 fun facts. Got nominated for 2 Oscars.
It did Best Sound Mixing,
And Best Visual Effects.
Visual Effects. It makes sense. It is. I remember it being like a very. It looks good.
It also got the Razzie for Worst Written Film
Really?
that grossed over $100 million.
That's literally every Marvel movie now.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
that's not true. I like those movies. Well, any other facts about Twister we should know?
Any other facts? Oh, it was the first ever film to be on DVD.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that fascinating?
That is really fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't have the DVD, but I remember the video store I worked at had the DVD. This is so interesting because it's like Philip Seymour Hoffman came up at a time when like home video was really becoming the preferred way to watch things. And I bet that probably helps get eyeballs on some of these lesser known movies than would have been the case before. I had no idea that was true.
Yeah, strange to
That's
think
so
about.
strange. Something interesting to think about when you think about an actor's career. I earlier when I was looking at clips, and I want to show this to you, Googled Twister movie. And if you look over on the right here, it is on TV in the next
Wow.
13 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
I freaking rented this to
Also-
talk on this podcast. I paid a whole $4.
I have to give you
coulda
$4.
just
I gave you a
watched
sparkling
Lifetime.
water. Also,
that's fine.
worth noting, it's always on Lifetime.
Always.
But you have to like these actors that do these movies must be like, I'm so glad I did Twister 20 years ago. It was like a month of work, and now
Yeah, now it's on Lifetime in syndication.
on Lifetime. Also worth noting that music was composed by Anthony Kiedis,
Wow.
Chad Smith, Mark Mancini, and
Thank
Dave
you.
Navarro, and Flea. So
And
there was
Flea.
definitely some red hot chili
Wow.
peppers on that.
Did
Do you
not
remember
notice.
what song
I-
that would have
I
been?
do not remember.
I
Interesting.
can't. I was gonna make up a really quick like chili. Well, I got the tornado. Sorry. Okay, I think we should end it there.
Yeah, yeah, it's
any
only going
any
downhill.
any final words? Any parting words?
Twister is a great film because it features two people who survive a twister by holding on to a pipe and floating into space, and they're fine. They're
That
totally
does
fine.
feel like a good ending and a very charming Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, so charming. So lovable.
So lovable. And do you have any work you want to tell us about? Anything you want to promote?
Oh boy. Watch Going In with Brian Vines
Watch
on
Brian-
Brick TV.
Love it.
8
That's awesome.
p.m. on Wednesdays.
8 p.m. on Wednesdays.
It's
Very
fun.
good. And on YouTube.
And on YouTube.
Cool. Thank you, Kat.
Thanks, Liam.
See you later. It didn't stop. Oh no. Oh God. So great what you said tomorrow.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you, Kat. It was really great. It's great to have someone else on the show that's not us. And I'm gonna go ahead and say I never thought that Twister had so many layers
Yeah.
of tornadoes.
Much like a tornado has layers because it's very onion-like because you start peeling away at that tornado. And what do you got?
Thanks.
A stinky onion.
Thanks, Kat. I'm Liam Billingham.
I'm George Fragopoulos.
And this was a stinky onion. It's actually